We are back now with more on Davy Jones. Fans all over the world remembering the Monkees heartthrob who died suddenly yesterday. We're going to hear from Davy's good friend and bandmate Micky Dolenz in just a moment, but first a look back at that made-for-TV sensation. Monkey Mania spawned 6 top 10 hits.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
And even when the Prefab Four split up in 1970, 2 of the Monkees stuck together. Micky Dolenz and Davy Jones, both former child actors, split lead singer duties, and they were breakout stars. After the band stopped recording, Jones and Dolenz continued to collaborate.
Thought I was crazy, but it made you laugh.
When MTV and syndicated reruns created a new generation of Monkey Mania in the 80s, the old band got back together. Micky and Davy talked about their excitement on GMA.
It's like being able to be a kid again.
I think we appreciate it a lot more now.
For more than 55 years, these 2 men stayed bandmates and friends. And Micky Dolenz joins us now, and it's so great to see you, and I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
You and Davy hit it off right from the start, huh?
Yeah, I remember him very well from the very early auditions, and I think it's because we both had similar backgrounds. He'd been on Broadway as Oliver. I'd had a series called Circus Boys, so we knew the business, the film side of the business especially, and stage side of the business. So we just kind of hit it off, and I remember the producers, when they were switching up the different combinations of guys that were auditioning, they tended to put us together, and we just hit it off.
And you stayed together for so long, touring even last year.
Yeah, up until last year. Yeah, it was a huge tour last year. It got great reviews. One of the shows got some of the best reviews we'd ever got, even from Rolling Stone.
That's surprising.
Can you believe that?
Any hint at all of a health problem for Davy?
None at all. I was thinking about it. You know, he vegetarian. He's always outdoors with his horses. His passion was training.
Yeah, he started out as a jockey very young.
Yeah,
huh?
He was going to be a jockey. He was an apprentice jockey, so he's always out, not doing as much riding these days, but had owners and trainers. And you know, his mom, I remember, passed on when he was very young, and then his father also passed on in the very early days of the Monkees, and I believe it was from a heart attack. So I think maybe there was some genetic thing going on there, but nothing that we ever knew about. I don't know if he was under any care or not. I have no idea.
What's your best memory of Davy? What's the story that says this is who he was?
Oh, there's many. I mean, yeah, I do remember we didn't have a lot of control over the music and the show and the production, you know, at that age and at that time. But I do remember we shared a house together in the early days. Before we could afford to get our own places, and we were driving up to and parking in front of our house and listening to the radio, and it was Monkey Day, and I never forget that. And all of a sudden, the last train to Clarksville came on, and he said, "Wolf, that's us!" Whoa, that's my memories are. Huh?
Like you couldn't believe it.
Well, no, because they didn't tell us your song's going to be on the air today. And I just remember we grew up families together, his ex-wife and my ex-wife. They had children about the same time. So we had similar, you know, paths in terms of families. So they were always over at the house. I at his house or him at our house.
And the Monkees are such a phenomenon. You just sort of skyrocketed to the top. Do you get now what that was all about?
Well, yeah, I do. In retrospect, at the time, of course, I didn't. But I have my feelings about that. You know, I would say the most important element was the fact that it was a television show about this band that was not successful, that wanted to be the Beatles, but never was on the show. It was about the struggle for success, and it spoke to all bands, all the garage bands, all the kids around the world who were in their living rooms and in their basements trying to become successful. Because on the television show, we were never successful. Right. So that endeared us, I think. It made it real to a lot of kids. I mean, the closest thing that's come along down the pike since the Monkees, I think, is Glee, which is a show about an imaginary glee club, but they really are good, and they can actually do it.
You made your mark, and you spoke well for your friend. Micky Dolenz, thanks very much.